Hello and welcome to the programme.
Coming up tonight. After seeing his wife and son die in a hit-and-run crash, this campaigner demands changes on a notorious stretch of road.
Real-life tragedy, the play about a schoolboy's murder, revealing the brutal truth about knife crime.
In sport, Leeds earn a hard...
And stroke of genius, comedian turned painter Jim Moir tells us about his latest exhibition in Bradford.
Good evening. First, it's happened in just a second, but the pain will never leave him. And now, Billy Boyack, who witnessed the crash which killed his wife and youngest son, is fighting to save other lives.
A warning that our report includes footage of the aftermath of that fatal hit-and-run accident on what's known locally as the Flying Mile in North Derbyshire. Mr
Boyack's campaign is winning support, and today he was joined by villagers and businesses who wanted speed cameras installed there. Martin Fisher has the story.
We've had a crash! Go 999! 999 now!
The moment Billy Boyack's life changed forever. His wife Angela was killed on this stretch of road in North Derbyshire known as the Flying Mile, alongside his youngest son Stephen. Billy was following in another car and saw the tragedy unfold.
It is called the Flying Mile. What do you think it should be called?
Death road. It's, I don't know what to call it. It's just horrendous. It's a horrendous road. And there are so many idiots saying there's been so many accidents since they've dropped the speed limit. It's just rubbish.
Unlicensed driver Joshua Hill from Sheffield was later jailed for 13 years. Now Billy wants speed cameras on the road to prevent further deaths.
It's about £120,000 to put an average speed camera up. And for, what, £500,000 you could have 5 cameras from Spitewinter to the golf course that would make people stood on the whole length of the road.
And he's not alone. Driving instructor Sean Gelsthorpe has captured many near misses on his dash cam.
Do you think there'll be more fatalities on this road?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, every day, as driving instructors, we have a network that we're all communicating. We're all aware when there's an accident, we all get to know about it. There'll be more fatalities, whether it's on the hill here or whether it's on the stretch behind me.
We've seen accidents galore, we've seen fatalities, we've seen bad crashes on this junction and further up the road at Spancar Crossroads, but this stretch of the road is treacherous.
Now this is SID, it's a speed indicator camera and it was installed by the parish council. But it doesn't tell the whole story, it only has 2 digits. And from data that the council's collected, well, they've seen that cars can regularly hit 100 miles an hour on this road, and even in the last month, 2 hitting 150.
The road runs through Kelstridge. Villagers too, fearing more deaths.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the potential is there for that to happen.
Absolutely. It's like anything. If nothing changes, it'll stay the same. It must happen.
Nottinghamshire County Council, where they have problematic roads, they put speed cameras up very quickly. Derbyshire County Council seem to be taking a different view of this particular stretch of road, but we cannot get to the bottom of why that is the case.
It needs to be funded via the Safer Roads Fund or via Department for Transport to the council, so that road safety format can look at us and they can come to us and say, we believe with Department for Transport backing that average speed check cameras are needed down there, and then Derbyshire County Council can work to implement that.
Until that happens, Billy says his fight will go on. Martin Fisher, ITV News.
Police searching for a 52-year-old woman who went missing from Appley Bridge have found a body. Jane Hiles, a former police officer herself, had left her home on the 24th of February. Underwater search teams located the body of a woman in the River Aire at Kirkstall yesterday. Formal identification is yet to take place, but officers say Jane's family has been informed.
It happened 2 miles up the road from their school, an event which left children shocked and questioning whether they were safe.
Well, today, more than 2 years after 15-year-old Alfie Lewis was stabbed to death in Horsforth, The same youngsters sat and watched a play about his needless loss of life.
The performance will now tour other schools in the area with the same message, that carrying a knife can have tragic consequences. Katie Oscroft reports.
He impacted so many lives without even knowing it. Alfie.
A difficult lesson on the emotional fallout of the murder of one schoolboy at the hands of another.
Seeing and hearing my mum crying, heartbroken constantly.
For these pupils, the real-life story behind this play happened around the corner. And they remember well the day 15-year-old Alfie Lewis, a boy from the year above them at a nearby school, lost his life.
Everyone was in denial, we couldn't believe it. Someone so young just didn't deserve it.
I was on the bus when it happened and people were talking about it. I was just scrolling and I see it like pop up and I was just shocked, it's so close.
I thought that the show was a great lesson to help the younger audiences not be associated with violence, gangs and crimes to do with knives.
And it kind of just hurts me as well to see people my age committing these sorts of crimes that, obviously the world's not a peaceful place, but, we should at least try.
And watching the play, Alfie's auntie, the driving force behind a mission to remember her nephew by making a difference in his name.
I shouldn't have been doing this, having to go into schools. But at the same time, the reality is it did happen. So rather than just fade into another statistic and not be proactive in battling it, I chose that route. So then other families, communities, friends, family don't ever have to experience, what we have been through.
It was heartbreaking to see 2 lives ruined.
We want to do Alfie's legacy proud. We want to do the family proud. So it's really important that we deliver it in a way that is sensitive, but also that is responsible and, we're doing it with care.
But even with these pupils pledging to do the right thing, it's a subject this school believes it has to teach.
It highlights that it can happen anywhere and that every school in the country has to be attuned to the fact that there are incidents involving youth violence, that unfortunately youth violence is something that does exist, and I think it would be remiss of schools to not acknowledge that wherever they are.
These pupils were a similar age to Alfie Lewis when he died. His life and tragic death are now being used to try to make their future safer. Katie Oscroft, ITV News, Leeds.
You're watching Monday's calendar. Still to come on the programme, A Brush with Greatness. The comedian Vic Reeves, now artist Jim Moir, tells us about the inspiration behind his latest exhibition in Bradford.
And it's certainly nice to see a little bit of sunshine on the weather maps over the next few days. I'll have all the details in the forecast in a few minutes.
It's a desperate dilemma facing millions of households: how to pay for the pet you love when the cost of care becomes impossible.
Yes, a leading animal charity says we're now in the middle of a crisis driven by a spike in vet and care costs.
With rehoming centres reporting record numbers of arrivals, many fear this is only the beginning. Here's Amrit Birdie.
For millions of us, pets are part of the family. But the cost of looking after a furry friend is forcing some owners to make an impossible choice. At this animal hospital, they're busier than ever, performing procedures on pets whose owners simply can't afford the medical bills.
So this is Benito. Benito came into us a few weeks ago. He had been in a little bit of an accident and had broken his jaw. It was a bit of an unexpected cost for the new owners and they were unable to pay for the treatment, so they decided the best option was to sign him over into our care, and we were able to repair his jaw, popped a little wire in, and hopefully when we remove the wire in a few weeks' time he'll be old enough to go to one of our rehoming centres to find a new loving home.
Recent research shows that an unexpected vet bill of £600 would be unaffordable for 1 in 5 pet owners. 1 in 3 are either struggling with or seriously worried about caring for their pet due to the current cost of living. And 1 in 10 dog owners have already had to give up their dog due to financial hardship. At this rehoming, advice and behaviour unit in Sheffield, staff say they do what they can to help families caught in this crisis.
When we get requests that we're not able to meet, we would try and reach out to other rescues in the network to see if we can share resources. So we do a lot of regional working. It's all about trying to use the resource wherever we can, wherever the demand is, to help as many pets as possible. We also would ask people if they could cope if we gave them some advice, or maybe temporarily help people through our food bank.
What are 5 dog breeds I would never own as a vet?
Dr Ben Simpson-Vernon, known to his thousands of followers online as Ben the Vet, tells us there are ways to manage the sky-high costs.
Veterinary treatment is private healthcare. We're really lucky in this country that we have the NHS, but so we're just not used to seeing what healthcare really costs. And so it can come as a shock to people if they've never owned a pet before and to be confronted suddenly with a large vet bill. Certainly I would encourage people to just have really open discussions with their vets about costs.
For those who do have to give their animals up, the decision is often devastating. But charities say their focus is making sure every pet finds a safe and loving home. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Oh, they're all so lovely. You want to give them all a home, don't you?
You do, don't you? Really little cuties there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
gorgeous, gorgeous. Now then, new rules coming into force at the end of this month will change the way that rubbish and recycling are collected.
Councils are expected to collect waste in 4 separate categories: food waste, paper and card, other recycling such as glass, metal and plastic, and general rubbish too.
Yes, the government says that the move will help boost recycling rates, which have fallen in recent years. But with the deadline approaching, questions remain about whether all councils are actually ready. Kevin Ashford reports.
Rubbish collection is changing, albeit gradually, with the aim of getting all of us to recycle more. Under the new scheme, residents in Leeds will still only have 3 bins, with food waste going in with garden waste.
We've started a trial on that already in a ward in Leeds. That's going well, and the idea is to roll out to the whole of the city, with the exception of some of the terrace properties where you can't have bins. People haven't got gardens, they can't have garden bins, so they will have a bespoke separate food waste collections.
The government legislation is being introduced in stages. Later this month, local authorities across the country will be required to collect food waste weekly from households, along with 6 types of recyclable waste, excluding plastic film. And next year, small businesses with fewer than 10 full-time employees will also need to separate recyclable waste. And plastic film recycling will be introduced for both households and businesses. Recycling rates in this country have been slipping in recent years. A charity that helps local authorities comply with recycling legislation says the latest changes should help improve that.
By introducing food waste collections, we know that that's likely to increase recycling rates by around 5% across the country. So that will help to make that progress, to have less material going into either landfill or into energy from waste, and so that will help work towards our carbon targets as well.
The government says it's helping local authorities with the cost of complying with the recycling legislation, although that financial burden will soon be shared.
They've had £340 million in funding since 2023, but they're going to be getting £1.1 billion of funding each year from the packaging producers. So this is a big shift. It's saying to the household product makers and the supermarkets, you're putting all this packaging out onto the market, you're going to pay for the clean-up costs.
The aim is to get recycling rates to an average of 65% across the country over the next 10 years, and to make the way we get rid of our waste the same wherever we live. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
Yeah, I wonder what you think about this one. I mean, Seems like a lot of bins, doesn't it? Do you do recycling?
Oh, of course, yes, absolutely. And I'm in charge of the bins in our house. So on a Sunday, because we get our bin collected on a Monday morning, Sunday I spend my time in there just sorting everything out to make sure everything's inside the bin properly.
I bet it's all neat and tidy as well.
Really
isn't it?
neat and tidy.
Of course it is.
Now, but talking about rubbish, no, I'm a joke. Here's Chris with the sport. Chris, and a controversial game yesterday for Leeds.
Oh, you're just going to go on like that, after calling me rubbish?
Calling it rubbish.
I was only joking.
Oh, bless you. I'm on recycling duty as well on a Sunday night, just to add it. But yeah, no goals in yesterday, but plenty of incident in Leeds' game at Crystal Palace. A draw enough to keep the Whites 3 points clear of the Premier League relegation zone.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Leeds United manager Daniel Farke described his players as warriors after watching his side salvage a point despite playing over half a match with only 10 men. The game itself was something of a drab affair until just before half-time when Leeds were awarded a penalty following a handball in the box. However, Dominic Calvert-Lewin dragged his spot kick wide. And then, just a few men and Johnson there, nevertheless, a valuable point for Leeds in their battle to stay up.
I'm so proud of my warriors and I would trust my life to them because how we adapted to the strange decisions and strange circumstances, and if we show further on this unity and mentality, then we have a great chance also to cheer about other things come the end of the season.
Elsewhere this weekend, more drama in Sheffield United's game at Birmingham. Firstly, Femi Sariki controversially sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity there, despite a covering defender in close proximity. And to rub salt into the wound, Birmingham then scored the resulting free kick. Then take a look at this. Former Blade Jack Robinson thought the ball had gone out of play, so handles it, thinking it's a goal kick. Penalty awarded. Well, only for Siddy Peck to let his former teammate off the hook, seeing his spot kick saved. Thankfully, Patrick Bamford showed Peck how it's done, equalising on the stroke of half-time and earning the Blades a point. Doncaster were our only winners in League One. Hakib Delican with what proved to be the winner in a 2-1 victory over Blackpool. Rotherham, well, they remain in deep relegation trouble after squandering a 2-goal lead to draw at home to Bolton. Barnsley and Mansfield also shared 4 goals. Barnsley looked to have won it when Scott Banks put them 2-0 up, but Mansfield responded and forced a stoppage time equaliser through Stephen McLaughlin. Huddersfield drew 0-0 at Port Vale, whilst in League Two there was a bizarre sending off in Chesterfield's game at Notts County. Ollie Norburn shown a second yellow for throwing Armando Dobra's boot off the field. Well, thankfully the boot was on the other foot for Dobra and his teammates as they ran out 3-2 winners.
Yeah, that was a lot of football, Chris. Is there any other sports news?
There is, yes. Some rugby league should we go to? You remember we featured Jack Sinfield on Friday. He's the son of Kevin Sinfield, the rugby league legend. Well, Jack played a pivotal role as his new team, Wakefield, beat his old one, Leeds, in the Challenge Cup. A power failure early on plunged Bellevue into darkness there, but after the game restarted, well, Sinfield lit up the occasion, helping his side come from behind to win by 24 points to 14. York, our only other side in the hat for tomorrow's quarter-final draw. The Knights comfortably beating Keighley by 56 points to 10. And Sheffield golfer Matt Fitzpatrick just missed out on the chance to become the first Englishman to win the Players' Championship in Florida. Despite leading by a shot with 2 to play, Matt bogeyed the final hole, allowing Cam Young to steal the win. And that is all your sport for this evening. Plenty to get through, eh?
Yeah, you took a big deep breath to get through all of that.
I did. Was it rubbish?
No,
what do you reckon?
Great.
What's your opinion?
It was great. I think we'll recycle it for later, shall we?
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Well played.
Thank you. Now, he is best known as one half of the madcap comedy duo Reeves and Mortimer, who built a cult following on their surreal, off-the-wall brand of humour.
But avid fans of Vic Reeves, whose real name is Jim Moir, will know he's also a prolific artist whose paintings are often as unconventional as his jokes.
He's also a Yorkshireman, being born in Leeds, and today he's back in the region, launching his latest exhibition, Neo-Fauna it's called, at Bradford's Cartwright Hall. I caught up with him earlier and asked him first about his early inspirations, bird watching and natural history.
Natural history, I suppose it's what you see around you. I was born in Leeds and grew up when I was a teenager in Darlington, and we were on the edge of town, so that's what I was into. I wasn't into football, I was into birds and painting, And so I was kind of a bit of a loner. I'll tell you what I was like, Casper in that film Kes. That was me.
Ah, yeah, that great Yorkshire film, yeah. So, has that had some sort of influence on your work then?
What, Kes? Yeah. Do you know what I always say is you paint what you see, and what I was looking at was the natural world. So I painted that. What I was interested in when I was a kid was birds and aeroplanes, actually. So things that fly. That's what interested me.
So you were born in Leeds then. Do you ever see yourself as a Yorkshireman?
Well, I was born in Leeds. I left when I was 5. I've lived in Kent for 2/3 of my life, so I don't really know where I come from. My granddad was born in Scotland. My dad was born in Yorkshire. My other grandfather was born in Kensington, so I don't really know where I come from, and I don't really care. I love Yorkshire, though. I think it's brilliant.
It's a great place, isn't it? A fantastic place. I guess that means that you fit in wherever you go, doesn't it? If you've got that kind of background.
Yeah, I'm what's known as a blender. I blend in wherever I go. I love Yorkshire, though. I do feel like, I was born in Yorkshire, so I'll say, yes, I'm a Yorkshireman, because that's where I was born.
How does creating art compare to creating comedy?
What I did was, when I did Vic Reeves, that was art. And I just stopped doing that because I really just wanted to concentrate on painting, and I didn't really want to be in the showbiz world anymore.
Well, you're a very successful comedian and a very successful artist too. So what's next for you, Jim?
I'm getting on now, so I would think I'm just going to stick with painting and making more art. I do sculptures as well, but it's just painting. I'm quite happy. I'll get up in the morning, I paint from about 6 o'clock till midday, then I go bird watching, and it suits me. Then I come home and watch Corrie.
Well, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you very much for sharing all your tales about bird watching and painting birds, and we wish you all the best with this exhibition.
Thank you. Come to Bradford.
Really good pictures, aren't they?
Excellent artist, yeah, brilliant, and nice to catch up with Jim today.
Yes,
brilliant.
Certainly was. Yeah.
Excellent. Now then, in exactly 1 month, Shauna Burke will begin her second ascent of Everest, of course, the world's highest mountain.
Yeah, it's a challenge only the very fittest and strongest can even contemplate. And yet, Shauna, who's a researcher into exercise and its effects on cancer, is living with an incurable form of the disease herself.
Well, amazingly, she runs to all of her chemotherapy and radiotherapy sessions. And now Shauna's incredible stamina is inspiring her colleagues at St James's Hospital in Leeds, as Sarah Clark can explain.
So this is the start of the Everest Challenge, inspired by the wonderful Shauna. 58,993 steps. Off you go.
Taking it one step at a time, staff at St James's Hospital as they set off walking the equivalent height of the world's highest peak.
I think we have got a slightly easier challenge because we've got around 300 staff working in the radiotherapy department, and obviously over the next week between us all we're going to try and climb the equivalent of climbing Everest up the stairs in Bexley Wing here in Leeds.
The team have been inspired by Dr. Shauna Burke, who is climbing the real thing in April. She's spent decades researching the role of exercise for cancer patients going through treatment, all whilst facing her own diagnosis of terminal breast cancer.
It's so overwhelming and it's moving. This is where I received my radiotherapy at the department here, and I work very closely with some of the radiographers on research. So movement and exercise is one of the most powerful but underused lifestyle interventions in cancer care. The research shows that exercise can help patients manage a number of symptoms and side effects of treatments that they're going through, and for some cancers it can even help promote survival.
Impressive research to match her impressive achievements. She has a history of taking on epic challenges. In 2005, she became the second Canadian woman to summit Everest and completed the marathon there last year.
To be diagnosed with cancer herself and effectively use herself as a guinea pig, using all of this knowledge that she has. It's so inspirational. She's such an incredibly strong person. And I think as a message for other people that are going through similar treatment, you can do it. The diagnosis is just the beginning of a new challenge.
And speaking of a new challenge,
we work well together as teams, but there's definitely a little bit of friendly rivalry between radiographers, doctors, physicists and the rest.
Are you going to win though?
Of course.
There may be a long way to go, but every step counts, as the team here hope to inspire others on their cancer journey. Sarah Clark, ITV News, Leeds.
Yeah, Shauna's doing such great work getting that message out there, isn't she?
An important message, yeah, and she's a lovely person. We've had her in the studio before, haven't we? So it's great to see her doing so well there.
Wish her all the best. Let's go to Joe now with the weather, though.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Thank you. A very good evening to you. Bit of a wet and windy end to the day today, but better news ahead. Temperatures will be warming up a little bit day on day over the next few. It's settling down weather-wise, certainly by day. Although by the weekend it is turning fresher yet again. Plenty of dry weather ahead to get out and about and get some jobs done. As we can see, out to the northwest, there is a front edging in by the end of the day tomorrow, but it shouldn't disturb us too much, and it should be dry with plenty of spring sunshine across Yorkshire through the day and dry conditions. This evening's rain will tend to peter out over the next few hours, and overnight tonight skies will clear a little. There could be some mist and fog in the Pennines and the Peak District, and it's a breezy night, that's for sure, but temperatures will probably be similar to today's values. No danger of any frost or ice tonight. It's around 8 or 9 degrees. On to tomorrow's details, and the sun times is up at 6:17, setting at 13 minutes past 6 tomorrow evening. Perhaps a few fog patches in the Pennines to start the day. Other than that, dry and increasingly bright. Still quite breezy, but lots of sunshine getting out across Yorkshire, and through the afternoon staying fine and sunny. And temperatures will really feel the benefit of that, getting to around 14 or 15 degrees. Still breezy, but out of the breeze feeling really pleasant. Clear skies at first tomorrow evening, bits and pieces of rain moving through. And then Wednesday, a cracking day. Lots of sunshine to come, and temperatures will peak for the week at 16 Celsius before freshening up a little bit towards the weekend, although there's plenty of dry weather ahead with some sunshine to look forward to. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Things are looking up then, aren't they?
That was great news from Jo there, wasn't it?
I know, Tuesday and Wednesday, and our director's off on Wednesday, so she's very happy.
She is very happy. I'll be happy to see you at 10:30 for our late news. Good night.
Bye-bye.